Today's episode of Black at Work is being sponsored by Fix My Crown. Fix My Crown is a self-help agency that provides life coaching and intentional, in-depth self-improvement services with a holistic approach to building you up from traumatic wounds that can keep you stuck, with focus on healing, recognition of worth, purpose, to develop a positive and purpose-focused life. Their services include individual and group sessions, seminars and workshops, and independent e-courses. Their mission is to heal the hurt, recognize the worth to build the legacy. Fix My Crown can be followed on Instagram. The O is substituted by a 0, so it's Fix My CR0 and then WN. Join their email list by going to www.fixmycrown.net to stay up to date on their website launch and other upcoming events. So shout out to Fix My Crown for sponsoring today's show, and let's get to it.
You have to make sacrifices. You have to know what you want in life, and then you go for it. But it's not something you can't just say, oh, I want to do it. Like my neighbors would be like, oh, we still want to go to Rome. And he's like 60 with a walking cane. And I'm like, when the fuck are you going to do it? You know? Well, there's no time. There is no time.
What's up, coworkers? Glad to be back. We hope that you guys had a great Thanksgiving. If you celebrate, a happy Turkey Day. Hope you had all the dressing and the baked macaroni and cheese that you could stand. Let's get right into it. If you have a fuck you, don't get fired, send them to us here at Black at Work Pod. You can send them in anonymously on our website, blackatworkpod.com. You can write in to our email, blackatworkpod@gmail.com, or hit us up on socials at Black at Work Pod on all platforms. Our first fuck you comes from Kiera. Fuck you, Jennifer. We starting off strong today, okay?
Okay. I wasn't expecting that.
It is Monday morning and I haven't even been logged in for 5 whole minutes before you started bombarding me with questions about how to do your job. The job I trained you to do back in March 2018. That's been 2 years plus, you dimwits. Why do I have to walk you through every process and procedure every fucking day when you and I are doing the same job and you're probably making more than me doing it? Nah, you just want me to do your work for you. I have told you 90,000 times how to do XYZ, and almost 3 years later, you still are acting like you don't know how to do this job. I am so angry right now. I had a tough weekend, and the last thing I wanted logging in this morning with messages from you asking about policies you should be well versed on by now. I'm sick of you, bitch. For my own mental space and peace, I cannot deal with this girl anymore. I'm going to HR, our boss, or somebody. I just can't take another day of helping or doing this girl's work for her. If she is this slow, then she doesn't need to work here, period. Sorry for the rant, but my nerves are bad today. Let me go make my coffee before I end up flipping this desk over. My own desk in my own house, shaking my head. This girl is driving me insane.
Damn, girl, yeah, you're gonna have to get rid of her. 2 years in, bitch, there's no way you still should be confused about how to do this job. Bitch, you ain't confused. You just want me to fucking do it. And that's really what that is. Bottom line, point blank, period. We all work with motherfuckers like that. Bitch, just do your damn job. Don't ask me shit. I done told you 50,000 times how to type on this line, and you still asking me 2 years later? Yeah, I would say something to either your manager, your boss. I know you ain't asking for our advice, but I would report her. I would show concern that she has been thoroughly trained on this job. It's almost 3 years in, and every single day, some way, somehow, I'm ending up having to explain the same things over to her. That's a problem. Stand up for yourself.
Don't this sound like yo everyday people pinging you talking about Dana? Can I do Dana? Dana.
Mine's a little different, but they know how to do their job. They just want to get on my nerves about my job, but.
Girl, Kiara, we all been there, girl. People act like they don't know how to do their job, but this is a little much. This is extreme. This lady been here for 3 years and you still don't know what to do. You don't even know the basics. You don't even know how to log in. Sis, I can't help you at this point. And I need your salary on top of my salary if I'm going to be doing my job and your job. At this point, I would definitely go to somebody and let them know because, like you said, if you don't know how to do the job by now, you don't need to work here. And I can't spend all of my day helping you. Like, come on now, sis.
I mean, for real, what you want me to come to the bathroom too and help you wipe, bitch? Like, get the fuck out. Somebody, look, y'all better stop letting these motherfuckers get away with doing shit like this to y'all at work. Like, we hear stories like this quite frequently. And you are not a slave. You are not a slave. You do not have to do other people's work. Like, fuck them. Let them sink on their own. If it makes them look bad, it makes them look bad. It's not your responsibility. I'm tired of being niggas slaves.
Right. Go-to person. Like, let me just go ask her. Nah, bitch. Like you said, fuck you, Jennifer. I'm with you, Kiara. Hopefully you've had some better days. Let us know, boo. So our next fuck you comes from Dr. Wendy. Hey, Dr. Wendy.
Hey, girl. Okay.
Let me just start by saying I am not a doctor, but I do work at a hospital. Wait a minute.
Okay. I'm like, she listened to the show. No,
right. Exactly. That's hilarious. Hey, claim me. Hell, I'm a doctor in reading people. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. And yes, brace yourselves. This is about a hospital affair. Just call us Grey's Anatomy. Okay, I've been at this hospital for 10 years, and around the time I started, another cool friend of mine did too. We can call her Amber. So Amber and I are not close friends, but we do share a mutual best friend. We can call her Jade, who is another coworker, but all of us met outside of work. Anytime I'm ever hanging out or interacting with Amber is through Jade. There is no beef. We've been on trips together, happy hour, birthday dinners, but we are not close as Jade and I are. So let's go back to 7 years ago. A fine, young, sexy chocolate man, with a pretty smile, joined our staff, and I immediately crushed on him. We can call him Steven, but Amber and him quickly got into a relationship that fizzled 7 months later. So fast forward to today. For the last week, Steven and I have been talking and kind of texting, and he finally told me, wait a minute, for this commentary. Steven and I have been talking and kind of texting, and he finally told me that he really likes me and wants to take me out. So I just got back from the date and I felt weird the entire time. I couldn't even get into it or remember why I liked him because I was thinking about what Amber would think. Again, we are friends through friends with no real relationship of our own. Am I wrong for dating her ex? Since I'm uncomfortable, I don't want to bring more drama into our work, because trust me, there's already a lot sold. I just toss him to the left. I think she meant, so should I just toss him to the left? Should I give it a go? He might be my soulmate. Thanks for your advice. Baby, this is definitely Grey's Anatomy, okay? Shonda Rhimes wrote the script.
Shanika's Anatomy. Listen, honestly, this is a tough one. I had a hard time following along with all these names and shit. But, okay, so Amber is the girl that Steven dated 7 years ago for 7 months. And you and Jade are friends with Amber, but Jade is Amber's best friend and you're Amber. No, shit. Girl.
Jade and her are best friends. I don't know if Jade and Amber are best friends, but she knows Amber through Jade. So it's not really like they real cool. You know what I'm saying?
But y'all have been on trips and did shit together, friendly, like, but y'all not cool like that. Okay.
Correct. That's a tough one. Like you said, that's a hard.
Yeah, because y'all dated. Well, they dated 7 years ago for like 7 months. And a lot of shit can change in 7 years. Like
That's true.
they both are probably not even the same person. So that's number one. But for me, a bitch like me, I wouldn't give a damn. Like once I'm done with him, bitch, you can have him. If I wanted him, I would pursue him. So that's how I am. Other bitches ain't like me though. They feel like if they touch you, you theirs forever. So I guess it would just depend on the temperament of Miss Amber and how she would react. I would just ask her, since y'all share a mutual friend, there's no beef. I would just sit down and ask her like, hey, I've been talking to Steven or whatever, and I just wanted to know your thoughts on that. I don't know if he might be your soulmate, girl. That's girl, I don't know. I mean, we can all dream like Dr. King, but if it's going to disrupt whatever y'all got going on, it's not worth it. Trust me, these niggas ain't never worth it.
It's been 7 years. That's a long time. At this point, they done had multiple relationships. They done moved on. They probably don't like each other no more. They probably just cool friends. They probably could care less about who the other's dating. But on the strength of, just like out of respectfully, #respectfully, hey Amber, I'm chilling with Steven, I just wanted to let you know, is that a problem for you? Okay, cool. And honestly, if this sounds like somebody that you really like, or if you're going to be serious about the situation, then I would give it a go. But if it's going to be just like a little fun thing, then I mean, who cares, honestly?
Yeah, man, live your life. Shit. I mean,
Right.
life's too short. If you feeling him like that and you think that there's something there, man, shit, go for it. No,
Go for it, girl. Life's too short. And just make sure hopefully y'all tested negative for corona and not spreading nothing around that
place.
Okay. Okay, Dr. Wendy will let us know how it goes. Our next write-in is from Danielle. Danielle says, oh, okay. So I love the new website, but no new show today. I just knew I was finna wake up to a new episode. I hope y'all are well and happy holidays. So y'all, I don't know if y'all know this already. Our loyal listeners, like if it's a holiday, we're not going to record. So please don't charge it to our hearts, y'all. We need a break too, sis. No, I'm just kidding. But thanks for the compliment on the website.
Yeah, thanks for the I mean, we put up new pictures, but we didn't change anything. But yeah, we're going to take our holiday breaks, guys. We have to for our own mental health.
Right.
But we love that y'all miss us, and we missed y'all too. So happy to be back.
Happy to be back. So our last fuck you, this is a dissertation. Okay, now come on now with the dissertation. This comes from, okay, her name is Ace. She wants me to call her AC. She says, calling this FU, what goes around comes around. Hey ladies, my name is AC. So for this FU, let's say the F is for forgive, quote unquote, because I know God will deal with my former company's childish, immature, irrational, backstabbing craziness. Long story short, I was the only Black woman working at the company. They're majority Latino and white, and the Latinos are the upper class that don't associate with other minorities. Yes, colorism and classism exist in the Latino Hispanic community.
Word.
So many people within that company dated and or slept with one another or hired and promoted their best friends to positions. Folks like me who actually did our job well were overlooked and thrown by the wayside. Whenever I spoke up about unfairness going on, it was brushed aside to later be written on my employee performance review as me being reticent. Did I say that right? Y'all, I can't read. And defensive. Rolls eyes. I hope I said that right. I tried applying for a position in a different department within our company, and I caught one of our managers who always had a problem with me for whatever reason. Let's call her Harry Potter, visiting my LinkedIn profile during her lunch break. I guess she was trying to prove I didn't have enough experience for the new position, which I did. Of course, I called her out on it, and she made an irrational excuse that she liked an article I shared. Lies. Next, the new head of our department Curly Sue, quote unquote, who, mind you, was a woman who was only there for 8 months, got pregnant by another coworker who was best friends with the former head of the department, who promoted her over managers who have been there for 3 years, was supposed to interview me for the transfer. After 3 weeks, she never did. However, she did walk past me every day, smiling in my face, knowing she was the only person who could approve my transfer. Her reason for not doing so? Well, the man she got knocked up by was my carpool buddy. We lived next door to one another and would carpool to work. I guess she thought I was competing for her man. Child, please. He was like a brother, and he actually was trying to hook up with a friend of mine around the time Curly Sue got pregnant. But I'm minding my business, LOL. And she started giving me the side eye. Needless to say, the drama and pettiness was too much stress, so I left the company. No amount of money is worth losing my peace of mind. The funny thing is, Curly Sue ended up texting me a month later asking how I was doing. So she can text me, but couldn't say happy birthday to me while I was there in person? Haha, no ma'am. I blocked her. I'm learning to forgive and let go. I know God will take care of that company and their nonsense. What goes around comes around. Also, ladies, I just want to say I discovered your podcast when the pandemic lockdown started. It's been great just to laugh with you all and relate while dealing with the stress of working from home for my previous job. Also, your last guest, Monique's experience was very interesting to me, being that I actually went through the exact opposite experience of her. I grew up without believing or associating with a religious faith-based organization. I was the woke friend with a degree in African American studies who knew everything down to the T about our history and the contradictions in all religions. All that to say, I had a spiritual encounter confirmation from God after a life-changing event in my 20s, was guided to a church by coincidence, and grew in my Christian faith from there. I completely agree. Everyone should do their research, but also remember that one bad church isn't all churches. I'm thankful to have found a church where my pastor had dreadlocks, wore sneakers on the pulpit, was transparent about everything, and gave back to our Black community frequently.
Amen.
It's unfortunate Monique dealt with a church like the one she described, and I visited a similar one before that wasn't godly and had driven people away, but I'm happy she shared her story and experience. AC.
Shout out to you, AC. What in the love in Young and the Restless is going on at your motherfucking girl? What?
Baby, at all these jobs.
I could not even keep up. Who pregnant with who having this baby? Like,
you ain't
girl, what?
I'm over here confused, baby. I need to rewind. Is there a rewind and fast forward button? Baby, look, I need to record this on DVR.
Look, I got shit going on in my life. Niggas getting slain in the streets, corona out here, and y'all up here having a soap opera?
Baby. Are y'all wearing y'all masks while all this is happening? No.
Okay, like, so, okay. That was a lot. So let's, I'm so glad though that you mentioned our last guest, because Anessa and I were actually going to do kind of like a follow-up discussion on our social media, but we really needed a break. So we didn't even get to talk about it. But every guest that we have, their thoughts, their views are their own. And we so appreciated Monique for coming in. And just like you, I had a similar experience. I grew up in church, pastor's kid, Sunday to Sunday, church every day, and then got grown and felt like, you know, I don't know what's out there. So I spent a lot of years like not worshiping anything or believing in anything until I had my own spiritual awakening. So like you said, do your research. Do it however you want to do. We were in no way, shape, or form trying to shit on religions, or especially Christianity, because we consider ourselves Christian. And
for sure.
Yeah, so I'm glad that you brought that up. I'm glad that you got away from that damn job. Because, girl, that's too much. Like, y'all, I would go in there every day like, y'all niggas is getting on my nerves. And I would tell them that. Like, I would get a shirt printed that say, y'all niggas is getting on my nerves, and wear it to work every day. That's a lot.
It's sad because white people or in corporate America, you know, they'll promote their friend, their next door neighbor who ain't got no experience, who ain't even got a high school diploma, but the job description says high school diploma required. And I'm over here with a master's degree, a doctorate, and y'all overlook me and I don't even get promotions or anything. And then I leave the job and then you want to text me? Like, what? No, ma'am. Yeah, I'm
Girl,
glad
I
you
wouldn't even responded.
girl at
You would have been
all.
left on hella red.
Read at 12:15 and did not respond. Girl,
Okay.
because no. So yeah, I'm glad you're gone from that job. That sounds like a lot of mess, and I hope that you are in a better situation. And I'm also glad, I do want to speak on your last commentary, because like Dana said, we did go back and forth. I'm glad that you have a perspective, but I'm glad you were able to see her perspective as well. And we love the guests that come on our show and share their experiences. So all the fuck yous today and all the advice that y'all needed was amazing. So if you have a fuck you, if you need some advice, if you want to just vent, please send them to us here at Black at Work Pod at gmail.com. Send them anonymously at blackatworkpod.com. Hit us up on social media at Black at Work Pod.
All right, kids, let's get over to the water cooler. In It's My Money and I Need It Now news, this bitch ass Mitch McConnell shot down the latest bipartisan stimulus package proposed by lawmakers. Look, I'm about one cup ramen away from rolling up in Congress like Samuel L. Jackson rolled up in McDougal's and Coming to America.
McDowell's.
McDougal's, whatever the fuck ever.
With your shotgun.
Girl, I'm finna roll up in here. You bitches are dumb. We have been waiting all damn year for y'all to give us $5, and y'all clowns are fucking around. All of y'all need y'all asses beat. Other countries, like all the other countries, have been giving their citizens monthly stipends since this shit started. I think France is giving their peeps like almost $8,000 a month. If y'all don't get y'all ass together and decide on a plan, dragging this shit on like we got time for y'all white ass bullshit, get it together.
People are literally standing in lines at food banks. People who don't usually have to be at food banks are in food banks. Lines are wrapped around buildings trying to get food to feed people's families. People are struggling, can't pay rent, can't buy food, can't support their children. And y'all are sitting up here going to bed, eating a 5-star meal every night, and you are declining to help the American people. Drops bomb on you. You should be ashamed of yourself. All y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
I really don't understand it. Y'all have been going back and forth for months and months and months. And at this point, it's really just ridiculous. I just don't have the words, but I'm finna be like Paula White and call on the black ancestors to come haunt y'all asses. But they gonna come for me though.
A shabalaga laga, a boom shagalaga, a boom shagalaga, hum hum hum. Give us some money, shum shum shum. Baby, do something, child. Because at this point, it's like y'all don't even care.
They don't give a fuck. That's why they dragging this shit on. Fuck y'all. Fuck all of y'all on all sides. Anyway, speaking of fucking these people, that's a bad reference.
Yeah. We don't want to do that to none of y'all.
Okay. But Georgia, your last day to register to vote for the upcoming Senate runoff between Crypt Keeper Kelly Loeffler, Raphael Warnock, and Doug Collins for Senate Seat 2, and David Perdue and John Ossoff for Senate Seat 1. Is some other niggas on this ballot, but they have no chance of winning. So anyway, this race is important because it determines who will control the Senate. So maybe these bitches will decide to release our funds. Shit, I don't know. But anyway, if you turned 18 between November 5th and now, you are eligible. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's finish what we started and get these clowns back into their clown car and the fuck up out of here.
We have literally 2 days. This is very important, guys. We have to turn the Senate because, okay, we did all this work to get Joe Biden in, but it's not going to mean anything if we don't have the Senate to be able to help with passing the laws that he wants to put in place or to do anything. It'll be just like the Obama-Biden administration when they knocked him down on everything that he wanted to do because the Republicans ran the Senate. So please, Georgia, get your ass on the midnight train to Georgia and vote.
Okay.
Please.
Anyway, rapper G Herbo and his manager were indicted in connection to
baby.
Oh shit, bitch. Him and his manager were indicted in connection to an elaborate fraud scheme. His group has been accused of using stolen IDs for designer dogs, private jets, lavish cars, and trips. Okay. Y'all rich people gonna have to help me here, because what the fuck is a designer dog?
Baby,
is that a Yorkie with a Louis Vuitton logo etched in his side? Like, what the fuck? Like Vanessa just said, niggas is out here starving and you buying jets, my boy. I'll never understand how a motherfucker could get rich and still decide to commit crime. Like, bro, you got freed from this for a reason. But anyway, they were using the dark web to acquire these goods. Apparently, these are illegal goods because homie has federal charges. So, dude, that sucks. What you got, Anessa?
I mean, it really does. It's like, it's so funny to hear about these stories with these rappers because it's like, okay, yeah, I'm over here jamming to your phone the other day. Then, bam, here comes somebody reporting that you over here you a fraud. You fraudulent. You just doing all the types of fraudulent activity. And then on top of that, like, how do y'all not think that y'all are going to get caught?
That's the thing. How do you think you are not going to get caught?
Like, you sitting up here, y'all already got targets on y'all backs. You over here buying Chanel dogs, which I'm still puzzled about. I'm so confused. I don't know where you get one of them from. Do you go to Italy? I mean, where you go?
Can I get an Yves Saint Laurent dog?
Baby, I'm still lost. Like a Louboutin dog. I don't know. The dog got red bottoms on his paws. But anyway, where are y'all? I just don't understand how you think that you're not going to get caught by getting all this stuff. Like, it's sad. I was rooting for Gerbo, and I really like his girlfriend, Fabulous's stepdaughter he's dating. But, baby, she posted on Instagram, like, ain't nothing going on. So, child, I don't know, child. Y'all got so much going on.
Your man about to be locked up.
Won't let him out. Won't let him out.
So Walmart decided to give their employees a $388 million bonus for working through the pandemic. That sounds great. However, all the niggas that work at Walmart, $300 is going to full-time employees and $150 to part-time employees. So yeah, that's Walmart telling y'all niggas, thank you for working through a pandemic, risking your life, making this little such and such an hour and not having any health benefits. Fuck Walmart.
$300. I really hate to be the person that's like a Debbie Downer, that's like, I seem ungrateful, but $300? That's the best y'all could come up with? $300? I done worked through a pandemic, risk my life, risk my children's life, risk my grandma's life that I live with, like, risk my granddaddy life, my uncle life, my auntie life, my cousin life.
You done came up with a whole story.
Girl, I got a story for y'all, because I live with my grandma, and look, at this point, $300, that's not going to even buy some diapers. I mean, that'll cover me a diaper and maybe a formula can.
That's a slap in the face, honestly.
That is. It's a huge slap in the face.
All the fucking money that y'all made during this pandemic from people having to get shit delivered and all that shit, y'all went up on prices and shit. Y'all could afford to give them people more than that. But you know what? It is what it is.
It's the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately.
All right. So our last story, because we're running a little bit behind today. The coronavirus is now at a global death toll at 1.5 million cases. The U.S. has 14 million infections at this point. So not really slowing down. President-elect Joe Biden has basically said his first 100 years his first 100 days in office, he is really going to be pushing for lockdowns and mask wearing and all of that. So hopefully that'll slow down the spread. People are still dying. People are still not taking this serious. So that's today in your coronavirus news. What you got, Anessa?
And back to you, Dana. Because wear your mask. But what I will say is I'm all for President-elect Joe Biden and his efforts to try to combat the coronavirus and asking everybody to wear your mask, which you should have already been doing. But I guess people are not. People in Atlanta are not, obviously, but the numbers are not high there. I'm still confused about that. Black people there have some type of magical powers, like Dana has always said. But I can say that for Texas, Governor Abbott is still campaigning with Trump on what campaign trail? I have no idea. So we won't be going on lockdown, and we'll still have the most cases because he said he ain't going on lockdown, period.
Oh my
I don't
God.
know. I don't know how many trucks of dead bodies can be can be lined up for you to see that we need to go on lockdown. But hey, hopefully the whole world will go on lockdown except for us, child. And that's all I got to say.
And it was a bunch of stupid ass stories about his ass this week, but I purposefully left that shit out.
Right.
Fuck Donald Trump. Get out of our house. Bye. Well, that's it for the water cooler, guys. Let's take a break. All right, coworkers. Today for our Down to Business segment, we have Kemkem Casnielli, who is a writer, podcaster, blogger, speaker, and fire enthusiast. She was born in West Africa, but spent most of her formative years in America. Her chosen profession was pharmacy, and she practiced it until she got the urge to travel and have a different quality of life. She helps others discover life in Spain and how they can make a move with her Expat in Spain online course. Thank you so much, Kemkem, for joining us on our show today.
Yes, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I was really excited when I, realized that I could be on this show. So thank you.
Yes. And we cannot wait to hear your story. So I learned a whole lot about you in that little intro there. So you're from West Africa, yeah. Right? And I'm pretty sure, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you probably were on a path to some type of educational goal to have some type of career your whole life, and you ended up in pharmacy.
Yes. I think I had it since I was like, I don't know, being from Nigeria, it's something your parents kind of impress upon you. So you probably don't even have a choice. You just have to do it. I was lucky enough to choose pharmacy for a variety of reasons.
So why did you choose pharmacy, and what was that career like for you?
Actually, when I went to school and I started secondary school, my goal was to be a secretary, believe it or not. I just wanted to type. I didn't really want to do anything. And my mom was like, yeah, right. I don't think so.
I know, right?
Yeah, you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer or, one of those things. And I'm just like, no. So they tried to bribe me to be a doctor. And I said no. I couldn't handle the sight of blood or anything like that. But I had an older sister who was in pharmacy at that point. And so I realized that I really liked it. And so I thought, let me try that, and I took the placement and I got in, and that's what it was. And I loved it for I practiced for 29 years, 11 months, and 2 weeks, but I'm not counting.
You're counting down the day.
Oh, wow.
I wasn't counting down, but when I went to like give them my notice for sabbatical, because, I didn't want to just quit just in case I decided to move back to the US. It was like, I'm going to go away for a little while. And then, the girl was like, oh, you've been here for 29 years and 11 months and 2 weeks. I was like, oh, check that out. I can't fucking believe it. It was great. So.
Oh my gosh, 29 years as a pharmacist is a very long time. So
yeah, I graduated when I was 19, so I'm not super old, just so young.
Just so y'all know.
Exactly. I was 15 and like
so that's a long time. What made you say, you know what, after 29 years, what made you say, this is not, I don't want to do this anymore? Like, what was the straw that made you just say, I'm good on this and I want to go and pursue something else?
It was a combination of things. When I got out of school, I was working for a chain store, a chain pharmacy. And then I moved to Los Angeles and I was working for them. And then I left and I started working for a specialty pharmacy where we only dealt with like cancer patients, transplant or HIV. Just those three things were what we were concentrated on. But then one of my sisters got sick and she lived in Houston. So we ended up moving to Houston closer to the end. And so my thing was, after being in an environment where I was the boss, all of a sudden I had to go back to the chain because I couldn't find the same position in Houston. So that got me thinking. But the final straw was when my sister passed away. She had breast and lung cancer. So that got me really thinking, it's always the same thing. You think life is long and then you realize that it's not really long. And, she was only 49. So I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I don't have any kids. I always wanted to travel. So, if I can do it, I'm gone.
Wow. I'm so sorry to hear about your sister, but obviously that was a pivotal moment in getting to where you are now, which we're going to discuss a little bit later. But I wanted to know, when you decided to leave pharmacy as your career, what did your friends and your family and your parents think?
Well, my parents, they're long gone, but my sisters, most of them thought, because my older sister, she's still practicing and she does it off and on, but she had also stopped working as a full-time pharmacist a few years ago. She was living in Dallas and then she would go back to Nigeria. She opened her own store and every so often she would come back to the US and work for a while, just enough to live for a few years, because it's like a potboil kind of business and you get so stressed out after a while. She would go home, work for a while and then come back. So she was used to it. And all my sisters kept saying the same thing, like, you're crazy. Well, but I was used to it at that point because they told me I was crazy because I didn't want any kids. So it was just like, yeah, kind of thing. So I was used to them saying no. I used to the fact that they weren't in agreement with what I was doing. So it didn't bother me. But everybody thought I was crazy. But people I had worked with, I had told them for years and years that as soon as I was able to, I wanted to travel. And that was just my dream. And so over the years, I think I was working towards it and I made certain decisions that led me to that.
It's so funny because I don't know if you watch Real Housewives of Potomac.
No, they don't show here.
But there's Dr. Wendy, who's also Nigerian, I believe. She's on there and she wants to move on from being a professor, and her mom, they talked about this, she's like, I don't want to be a professor anymore. And they were shunning her, no, we worked so hard to get you over here so that you could be successful. So that's really good that so you weren't disowned or anything from your family or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
It would be the reverse. I just don't care. I've never cared since I was a kid. So, all that, because, you're growing up African, and it's like your path is you go to school, then you get married, and then you have the kids. And so everything was all set. And so from the beginning, I was like, no, I'm never getting married. And I waited till 42 to do it because I just didn't want to. I wanted to just travel. That was all, even, since I was a kid. So my mom always said, oh my God, I think I sent you off to the West way too soon. So that was the thing. She was always like, oh my God. So I think she gave up at some point. Before it was like, marry a Nigerian man. First it was marry somebody from the same tribe. Then it was, somebody from the same state. Then it was the same country. Then it was the same, I think if I brought home like an alien, she would have been okay with it because she just wanted to prove to her friends that she can get married. And I'm just like, no. So
yeah, Kim, you are a whole vibe. Like, I'm loving this. I don't care.
Right.
I'm gonna do what I want to do. Like, you have literally lived your life against every paradigm.
Yeah.
Shout out to attorney Natasha
right?
Scruggs, but against every paradigm put in front of you. And I think that shit is lit. So now you're living in Spain.
Yes.
How did that come about? Why Spain? And what is your life like there?
It so happened that when I was 42, like after turning down like 3 marriage proposals because, the first one wanted kids and I didn't want any. So I'm like, that's not going to work. The second one wanted like a home life and a home wife and the traditional thing. I'm like, no, I want to travel. And so it didn't make any sense to like lock myself down with those people when that wasn't really what I wanted. And so, you don't get married to somebody having told, you tell them before, I don't want any kids. And then you get married and they want kids anyway. It didn't seem right to me. So I wasn't going to get married. But then I ended up meeting my husband, who's actually from Rome in Los Angeles. And he was also traveling. He had been living in Melbourne and then he moved to North Carolina and then he moved to LA. And so I met him in LA and it was just like, oh, okay, here's somebody who doesn't want to have any kids. Here's somebody who also likes to travel. And that's how that came about. And we ended up getting married. And now it's been like 14 years. But when I said, let's move, after my sister passed, and I go, where are we going to move to? I want to do this. We can sell the house. We can do all these things. And he's like, well, we need this much money before we go, because I was all like, let's just get the fuck out of here. Everything will take care of itself. And he's just like, no. Because, we had some rental property and I thought, we can do that from there. And he's like, no. Thank God he's like that though, because I would have been so screwed and I would have had to go back because I made the money all those years and I spent it all those years because I didn't have to worry about anybody else. So I said, let's move to Italy. And he's like, fuck no. I guess it's like the same for everybody. Where you grow up, you don't want to move back there. So it's like, Rome sucks. It's super expensive. It's, like he went on and on. It's like, we can't afford a life there because we needed something that we would be able to, we needed to tide ourselves over till like 401k and retirement kicked in. So we had to save enough to last 10 years. And then looking at I started doing my research and then looking at everything, the one I said, Mexico, Belize, and Panama City, and my family were like, are you crazy? We don't even visit you in Houston because it's too far. And you're going to move like 1 more hour flight over from there. So forget about it. So then I said, okay, where else can we move? And then, unfortunately, his father passed away a few months after my sister did. So that really kicked us into high gear. And we wanted to be someplace close to his mom, but not there. Cause it's like, she drives me crazy. I don't want to be right in the same city. So we're like, where's close enough that we could go, but not be right there? So Malta, then I started looking at Europe, but you think Europe is so expensive. Everybody tells you that. That's what you see. So I'm like, Malta came up. It kept coming up. English speaking, the cost of living was good. So that's where we actually ended up when we left 7 years ago, was to Malta. And we were there for about 18 months before we got island fever. And I'm like, oh my God, we got to get out of here. You know, we just don't like it anymore. So like, okay, where are we going to go next? And so I got a map of Europe, and everybody just thinks like I was totally crazy. I got a pencil and just threw it at the map, and it landed in Malaga, Spain. So I'm thinking, okay, we could go there. I mean, had my pencil landed maybe, I don't know, Prague, or, you know, even though I like Prague, if it had landed there, chances are we wouldn't go to a cold country, but it landed in Malaga. So I'm like, okay, so we just shipped our stuff and took a flight to Malaga, and we were there. And then we turned out not to like Malaga either. So,
Damn.
so after 7 months, I'm like, I'm not feeling this place at all, you know. So we went to visit a friend in Seville, and we're like, oh, that's nice. So we came back, gave our notice, and moved to Seville. And so we stayed in Seville for almost 2 years, and we really liked it there, but it was really hot. Really, really hot. In the summertime, there are 3 hottest places in the world. Is like someplace in the United Arab Emirates, Death Valley, and Seville. And I was just like, oh my God. So we had to go find something else. And that's when we started researching Valencia. It was on the coast. We both like it. So we've stayed here since then. And that's how we ended up here.
Wow. You are a whole mood, a vibe, and an adventure. Like, so many people are afraid to live their lives this way.
Yeah.
I mean, you are really like balls to the wall type. Let's just do it.
Yes.
And obviously there are a lot of obstacles in a lot of people's way.
Oh, yes.
So I'm going to ask the obvious question, because I'm over here wondering, how were you able to afford all of this moving and traveling?
Well, the thing is, like, when we were in Houston and we decided we were going to go, and I told you I just wanted to take off and just say, you know, we'll just live off of rental property, didn't think much of it. And he's like, no, we're going to need this set amount of money that will last us 10 years. So we worked like crazy. I didn't go out. I mean, I love my margaritas and going to Mexican restaurants, and we basically cut that shit out for 3 years. I mean, it was lean fire. There was no other way to put it. And so
Wow.
we had enough cash. And then there was a time when, you know, the hurricane in New Orleans, Katrina, right? So we had a few condos, but they were not, everybody always says, oh, you had a lot of property, but we had several condos, but the most we ever paid for each one was like $29,000, because after finding out how cheap property were in Houston at that time, anyway, 15 years ago, we would save up money. I would save up money, buy a condo for $25,000 and buy another one. There were working class neighborhoods, you know, where people went to work, and, you know, it made regular rent. So there was money coming in from those. So when we were getting ready to go, plus after Katrina, we rented to some of the places to some people that had been displaced by the hurricane. So we didn't get paid. You got vouchers. We didn't get paid for months for some of the condos, but it was okay because it had been paid up front. So I only had to worry about the HOA. So once we got the checks, it was like a big chunk at the same time. You know, if you get something rent, you know, you're getting the monthly, you don't really save that much, but getting the checks, that really had a big chunk of the money that we wanted to save. So then when we were ready to leave, we started selling the condos one by one. So we put all the money together, and that's how we've been able to live just on the cash. And I'm 56 and I'm like, I can't wait for 59 and a half because we're so close. You know? It's like when the money starts, you know, when I can draw on the 401k, we're going to start doing that at that time. So basically it was just enough to last us for the 10 years. And the cost of living is really reasonable, you know. We spend maybe, I do a cost of living monthly for the YouTube channel. And last month we came in at like 1,500 euros, which is like $1,800 dollars a month. So
Wow.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
and it's so cheap. Like, from the flight from Malaga to Malta, for instance, we paid like $19.99 each way. It's so cheap
What?
to fly around Europe. Yeah, like we go from here to like Lisbon for like €34 each person each way. Or you can take the train. It takes you like 12 hours for like $20 if you buy it ahead of time. So it's not expensive once you're here. And that was one of the reasons why I chose Europe, also because of the ease and the money to travel around wasn't so much.
So, moral of the story sounds like get you some properties, get you a man from
Okay.
Rome, get you a man from Europe, and y'all buy a whole bunch of properties, and then you can go travel.
He's a thinker. And, my family was like, oh my God, you're going to, you said you weren't going to get married. You're going to do this. He was a photographer, but, there's not really a lot of money in that. His job was a waiter. He's, since he was in Los Angeles and Houston. So it's not like but I made good money at that point. And so, like I said, everything was all like, oh, spend it. Like, I was able to do these things because I didn't want to have any kids. So I didn't want the responsibility of having to take care of somebody else. So like, our first year in Malta, for instance, I sold my old BMW that I'd had for like 10 years. And that paid for like 1 year living in Malta because it was like 12,400 and something. So it was cheap. So I think if you have your plans and you have to make sacrifices. You have to know what you want in life and then you go for it. But it's not something you can't just say, oh, I want to do it. Like my neighbors would be like, oh, we still want to go to Rome. And he's like 60 with a walking cane. And I'm like, when the fuck are you going to do it?
Nope.
There's no time. There is no time. There's no time. You think there's time, but there's no time.
I've always wondered, like when people say, I want to travel. I want to travel. I want to travel. Like, what does that mean? But now you have actually given me the definition of what that means to travel. So are you still like in pharmacy there? Are you still,
No, because I would have to learn how to speak Spanish. No, I don't speak Spanish and they don't have the same reciprocity here at all. So you can't just come from the US with a degree there and apply it here. No, I'm still taking like basic, how are you kind of Spanish classes. So I don't do that. I work online, I blog, I freelance, write sometimes, but it's something I do more for fun. I mean, you could count on one hand how much I've made for the past few years. I just don't do it because I don't ever want to work again. And whenever something feels like work, it's like, oh no, thanks. So, but life is great. It's so relaxed. After the first, I started to relax. I think after about 4 years, like it took me that long to decompress. Every time the phone rang, my heart just jumped. Even till today, I don't use the phone except to play like Scrabble or something because I was traumatized by working for so long. And I just wanted something completely different. I like to wake up and say, what am I going to do today? Kind of thing. And just go around, eat, travel and write about it and share my life with others.
You are living pretty much everybody's dream life right now. Like, hello, I just want to be paid for existing.
And you know what the worst part is? What the best part is? It's like, I look at the 401k, for instance, and I'm like, I am making my money not working. I'm making the same amount of money not working by just watching my 401k grow. It's mind blowing to me. I just don't get it. I'm not working and I'm making my money. Just like if I was working.
Hey, she hit the nail on the head. We've had, what was this? Not our guest last week, but the guest before that. She talked about building wealth and so that you can, when you're ready to retire after 29 and a half years and 20 seconds from pharmacy, you can have your money stacked up so that you can live like Kemkem over in Spain with her boo.
Yes.
Okay.
And our 2 rescue dogs from Houston.
Yeah, like y'all are doing it.
Yeah,
that
y'all are living the life that I want. Okay.
Okay. So in your blogging and in your podcasting, is that what you do? Is that you just kind of help people realize life outside of the U.S. and why is that important to you, especially for Black people?
Well, I think a lot of time we're led to believe that as a Black person, you're kind of locked into a certain way of life. Because if you look at television, for instance, all they show you, if you're Black, you're either like LeBron James with the athlete and you make money from that, or you make money from one of those reality shows or something. And it's like, no, there's so many of us who have stacked up their money, like you said, and they're going and they're outside of the country and they're doing it. And recently, I've been podcasting also for a while, interviewing people who have taken off because I just think there is more to see. Because if you see what life is like outside of the country, first of all, you are so thankful for life. Apart from the fact that I am thankful because my sister passed away and I know I got a better deal because she asked me, why me? Why not anybody? Because I said to her, I could think of 1,000 people that God should just take away right then and there before it gets to you, just off the top of my head. So you don't know, but you're led to believe that you have to work. And you're in this hamster wheel where everything goes to your bills and blah, blah, blah. But once you realize that other people are doing it and you're seeing it, I just interviewed this lady. She retired in Valencia. She's a Black woman. She was commuting between Madrid and Miami for 6 or 7 years because she wanted to live in Spain. And she's she was a, hostess, like an air hostess. She's like, I never made more than $40,000 or $50,000 a year. But here she is. She just bought an apartment. She's redoing it. She's like, I'm doing it. And if I can do it, so can everybody else. And this is what I'm trying to show people. And I've been consciously now trying to find more Black women who are doing that, who are living outside of America, and to see and show them that you can do it if you want to.
That's awesome because we don't see that at all.
No.
How many Black women do you know that are living in Spain and, making money in their sleep and, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Being an entrepreneur, saving up their money, nobody teaches. And I feel like a broken record, but nobody teaches us or nobody shows us that there is another way of living as well. You don't have to just work every day. Save your money, do what you need to do, get some properties or whatever it is, and go and travel and live your life and see beyond the US or whatever. See beyond your 4 walls or, your comfort zone and your space that you're always in. So that's amazing.
Yeah, y'all need to be like Kemkem and just go balls to the wall and be like, hey, fuck it.
I like out of here. Balls to the wall.
Yeah. I mean, for the past 4 years, I've had a reason every single day to leave this goddamn country, and his name was Donald Trump. So, Black expats are a thing now. Yes. So we're so glad that we had you on our show to share this particular experience. So you blog, you write. Where can we follow your journey? Where can we see you on the internet? How can our coworkers get in contact with you?
Through my blog would be great, or YouTube. The blog is called nextbiteoflife.com because that's exactly what we're doing. We're taking our next bite of life. So you can find the podcast, same name, and there are plenty of interviews. There are lots of posts because it's been a 6-year journey on the blog. So you can see the many countries that we've been in Europe, around the world, Japan, all those places. I write about them. And we have a YouTube channel called Next Bite of Life channel as well. And that is newer. It's only about 3 or 4 months old, but I'm trying to like put the podcasts and the interviews on there, as well as life in Spain, what's going on. And people that are interested in just Valencia, not Spain alone, can find me at expatinvalencia.com, which is my latest blog, because I was getting a lot of people asking specifically about Valencia. So
yeah, that's truly awesome. I think people really need to see a different side of influencers and people that are not just, twerking and doing all of that, but somebody
and selling Fashion Nova.
Right, showing like you can live life, you can do this, you can do that. That's awesome. I do have one more question though for you, Kim.
Sure.
How is the coronavirus over there? Is it like super outrageous like here in the States, or is it?
Spain is one of the ones with the highest number. We have deaths, I think like 400,000 or 448,000, something like that. But in Valencia, which is where I am, we're about an hour and a half train from Madrid. Madrid and Barcelona are like the epicenters. They've got the highest numbers, but we're in a gray area. We're like, the numbers are good, but we still have a curfew. You can't be out between 11 and 5 a.m., 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. And all the nightclubs have been closed for the past 6, 7, 8 months. So I think that business is basically dead, and nobody allowed you can't come into the country right now, and we're not allowed to leave the region. So I live in the province there's 17 provinces in Spain. I live in the Valencia region. You can go within the region, but you can't go outside that. And I don't even want to at this point, because everybody wears a mask. We've been wearing masks for the past, I say June, when we came out of the quarantine. And it's been like, you just don't even think about it. It's just something that you just do. It's not political. It's not like, oh my God, there's all these things that we're seeing on the news. It's just day to day existence.
Everybody there has sense enough to do everything, do the lockdowns and everything that's needed to stay safe. And it's awesome too that you're able to, again, you're not really affected by it because you've saved up. You're just there living your life, your best life. So it's all awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, thank you, Kim, so much for being on our show and sharing your story. Yeah. I had a couple of more questions, but we are out of time, because I really want to know what it's like not speaking Spanish in Spain.
Oh, it's so funny that you said that there's so many expats coming into Spain, black, white, that you can actually get along without speaking Spanish. You can actually, I live in Valencia, the center, but we live in a barrio where everybody around us speaks Spanish, and we're the only ones. The other day I ran into a British guy, and he said something. The two dogs were doing whatever they do, and he's like, oh, and I go, lo siento, like, sorry, and he's like, I know you're speaking English. I can tell by your accent. And he was just thrilled because, I was probably the first person he saw speaking English for a long time, because now that there are no tourists, it's all people that live here. And so he was missing that. But my Spanish has really come along, and I go to classes, and it's not great and it's not perfect, but I'm there shooting bombs. That's what I call it to my neighbors. I'm like, I just talk to them, and it may not be right, but they're so good. It's not like America where they say, learn to speak properly or what have you. They correct you and they help you. So it's been great.
That is great, because I haven't watched enough episodes of Dora the Explorer to say anything past Hola.
Yes.
Everything like hola.
Yes.
Do you want a bag?
I know.
Hola.
Lo siento.
No, you said dreaming. I've started dreaming in Spanish, and somebody mentioned it to me. When you said dreaming in Spanish a few months ago, then that means you're really, into it. And I'm just like, now everything I think about, I have to, when I'm talking to you, or even right now, my mind is constantly trying to translate it into Spanish. So I think something clicked along the way. So hopefully that means that I'll be speaking it more.
Oh, for sure. Since you're immersed in it, it's gonna come for sure. Well, again, Kim, thank you so much for being on our show today. You were a light and a joy to have. Everybody pull some of this energy from Kim and live your life however you want to. Don't try to live up to anybody else's expectations or standards of you, and just do it. If you want to live abroad, if you want to move to the next state, if you want to quit that job, just do it. And make sure that you have the financial security.
That's the one thing that I said, always have your ducks in a row,
Yeah, to be able to do that. But again, Kim, thank you so much for being on our show today.
Thanks for having me. It was fun. Thank you guys so much.
It's time for the break room.
It's the break room. It's the break room.
What you gonna do?
Girl, we finna spill all the tea.
Hey, it's the break room.
What you gonna do?
It's the break room.
All right, well, let's take a break. It's so much to talk about. So there is a new Versus coming out, y'all, on Saturday, December the 12th. And guess who it is? Y'all want me to sing or what? Dana said, hell nah.
Whatever you gonna sing sound better than how these bitches sing. So
Ashanti versus Keisha Cole.
It's the battle of the best non-singer singer.
Oh my gosh. Now I will say Ashanti cannot sing. Sis cannot sing. Now
Keisha Cole can't sing.
Ashanti got hits, but she can't sing now.
Keisha Cole cannot sing.
Keisha Cole? I feel like Keisha Cole can sing. I feel like Keisha Cole can sing.
This girl I know so deep in love. I sound just like her. We can see she's the one. Like, girl, stop it.
Come on. Y'all better come on.
No.
Girl. No, but yeah, I agree. Ashanti can't sing. Keisha Cole, I feel like she can. You gotta get used to her voice like Candy. Oh, Lord.
I sound just like her. Just like her.
I agree. Ashanti can't sing. I feel like Keisha Cole can do a little something. She has a unique voice. I'm going to say that. But I will say that I will be getting my best 2000s life.
Girl, what? Get my whole life.
Baby, I'm here for baby. Okay, y'all know that run in the song now.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be great. I'm excited for it. I'm just joking about them not being able to sing, but they really can't sing. Y'all know that shit. But they do got the hits.
Baby, what?
Especially Ashanti. Well, I can't even say especially either
both.
because they both really got the hits. So this is going to be another one of those verses where we jam it in.
Girl, jamming about to have a wine on deck.
Can't wait.
So moving on, we'll be reporting on that next week, guys. So moving on, Chappelle Show. This happened, I think, when we were on break, but I do want to mention it because I think it is very important because we support our Black brothers. Okay. Chappelle Show was removed from Netflix at Chappelle's request, but if you guys saw, I don't know if you saw it, Dana, but Chappelle came out with like a 17-minute stand-up called Boycott the Chappelle Show because he is not getting paid from the Chappelle Show, which is absolutely asinine because I'm like, for sure this man is getting paid. But no,
how is he not getting paid?
They are not paying him for the Chappelle Show.
Oh, no, fuck that.
So he said, he came with the 17-minute stand-up and said, boycott me, please. Like he pleaded, boycott me. Don't watch the Chappelle Show until they pay him. And Netflix listened because, baby, Netflix like, look, we got all the Black people on our network. So look, we gonna listen. And so Netflix took the Chappelle Show off, which Black power to the people. Like, how dare y'all not pay him for a show that catapulted or, was able to, transcend and do all these things for comedians and for Black culture.
And it's his name. It's his name. The
Exactly.
Chappelle Show. Like, it's not you nigga show. It's Chappelle Show. Like, what the fuck?
So
I mean, contracts are a motherfucker because I'm assuming that's exactly part of the reason why he's having these issues right now. But that is fucked up. I didn't know about that.
And if you guys like Chappelle, don't watch the show. I know we like the show, but don't watch the show until you get paid, and he'll give us an update on that. But I just wanted to let everybody know, do not watch the Chappelle Show. In light of comedians, though, having issues, Kevin Hart is in... Kevin Hart has some backlash going on from a joke in his Netflix special, which we talked about in the break room, y'all, a couple weeks ago.
Get over it.
Y'all, I fell asleep on the special. I love Kevin Hart, but I just feel like he wasn't funny on this special. But so one of his jokes, he was talking about Heaven, which is his daughter, and he was explaining how at school, Heaven was like, come home, Daddy, I like Mark. Next week she came back, Daddy, I don't like Mark no more. I like Robert. Next week she came back, said, Daddy, I don't like Robert. I ain't talking to Robert no more. I'm talking to Bill. Okay. So he, talked about how he got some advice from his friend, one thing or another, and basically said that she had some hoe activity. I laughed. It was funny to me, but people are upset saying that he shouldn't have said that about his daughter, saying that she might have been embarrassed when she went back to school. People gonna be calling her a hoe, blah, 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 blah. So if we have to water down comedy too, then I'm out. Like, at what point can we just joke and have fun without everybody being so sensitive? I keep saying this, but I feel like I keep saying this, but this is a very sensitive culture. This is a sensitive cancel culture. I don't feel none of y'all would be all these sensitive people would have not been able to live during Kings of Comedy era and the Queens of Comedy era.
Especially with Bernie Mac talking about his nephew.
Baby, Bernie Mac, Steve Harvey, Cedric, like, y'all are too sensitive to live in the times where we was coming up. Because first off, it's my daughter. It was a joke. And I can talk about my daughter. And it wasn't like, if y'all are sitting up here saying like, oh, he calling his daughter a hoe. That's not what it was. We used to say, oh, you got some hoe activity going on. Like, it was a funny joke. I don't understand why he's getting backlash from it. And I just feel like people are just so sensitive, Dana. What you think?
I mean, I agree. Even though Kevin Hart's not funny to me, he clearly is a comedian and he was trying to be funny, and that was a joke. It was clearly a joke due to the fact that it was a comedy special. I understand the need for certain jokes to not be funny anymore, like when Richard Pryor was going in on trans people and stuff back in the early 80s and stuff. Like, okay, those jokes nowadays, because we know better, those are inappropriate. But this right here, y'all are just trying to come up with any fucking thing. Like Anessa said, the comedians that we grew up on, Bernie Mac, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy in his raw days, like, they would not be able to do shit in this country right now because they can't be funny. They can't say this. They can't say that. Like, you're just going to suck all the jokes out. And it, like, even though that joke was not funny to me, I get it. Like, somebody found it. Anessa found it funny.
I found it funny.
Like, somebody found it funny and it served its purpose.
Yeah.
Y'all dissecting this and making it a thing. And I mean, that girl probably the littest girl in her school because Kevin Hart's her daddy.
Right.
Like, y'all up here putting scenarios and shit going forth that probably ain't even fucking she ain't even at school, goddamn. We in Corona. Come alone. Like, let it go.
Let it go. I'm here with you, friend. Like it's very sensitive. It's a very sensitive time. And like you said, there are some things that we won't say anymore because we know better. But at some, like, we have to be able to, everything can't be off limits or it's not comedy. Then we might as well take comedy out of the genre because we're not going to be able, we can't joke about nothing. Then ain't nothing going to be funny.
Girl, Kev on stage gonna be the only comedian that's gonna make it because he the only motherfucker that is actually very, very, very fucking funny and does comedy for the Lord. So he gonna be about the only one.
You right?
That's gonna make it.
Girl, Nell found something about that. That's hilarious. Well, it was confirmed that Rihanna and my friend Rihanna, hey friend, no, I'm just kidding. And ASAP Rocky are dating, and Lil Uzi Vert said he posted on his story, y'all, this can't be true. And I'm so confused as to why Lil Uzi is mad, because Lil Uzi, you supposedly with a city girl, JT, and you just bought her a customized G-Wagon for her birthday. So I don't know why he concerned about Rihanna, but I do hope that Rihanna gets some inspiration and create us some music in the album.
Okay, I fucks with Rihanna. I don't understand this move because fuck ASAP Rocky.
I don't either.
Because they, like, just on the political stick, Rihanna is so us. She's so for us and all of that. ASAP Rocky's like, well, I don't live in Ferguson, so I don't care about what's going on. So I'm really interested in what that dynamic is like. Maybe he done woke up from his time spent overseas in jail for being black. I don't know. But shout out to Rihanna. Yeah, that's my bitch. And leave her alone about that album.
I know, right? Let her make her millions with Savage X Fenty, because I sure ordered me a lingerie.
Okay.
Also, y'all, so I don't know if y'all care. I do, but the trailer for Wendy Williams' new movie was released this week, and it looks like it's actually going to be really good to me. Y'all know I'm a Wendy fan. I watch Wendy every day on DVR so I can fast forward through them commercials. But Wendy the biopic is going to be released on January 30th. It's called Wendy the Movie. It's going to be, you're going to watch a 2-hour movie, and then right after the movie is going to be a documentary. And she's not holding anything back. Like, the trailer had drugs in it, how she got a cocaine problem. She got Kevin cheating on her. Like, it looks really good. Have you seen it, Dana?
I have not. I'm surprised to hear just now that it's out, but I wonder if she's going to be completely honest about her relationship with Kevin. Because I feel like even still to this day, she protects him.
Yeah, because she won't go as in on, you know what I'm saying, on her life as she will on other people's life. Or she'll kind of make references to it or make jokes to it, but she won't go all the way in. But she's claiming that I'm laying it all on the line, child. So we'll see. I'm definitely going to watch her. You going to watch though?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to watch it. I'm here for it. I'm here for that.
I want to see how the Sif cope. Because that's going to be my next step. If these motherfuckers don't release this stimulus package.
Ooh, wait a minute. I'm so good.
I'm so on this stimulus.
Dana, right. I cannot. Well, y'all, in Real Housewives of Atlanta news, so I have to unpack Real Housewives of Potomac and Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, because Real Housewives of Potomac was actually good. Did you watch it?
I did. Fuck them hoes.
Okay, so Real Housewives of Potomac. So Karen lied to Monique. So baby, this was actually interesting. So Ashley and Monique went to a catch up lunch. Ashley told Monique while they were in Portugal. I can never say that, y'all. Karen invited everybody to her wig line party, and that she wasn't inviting Monique. And Monique was like, oh, I ain't know nothing about that, because Karen has been telling me that I was invited. Child, well, did you see, Dana, how at the wig line party, Karen rushed Monique. Monique came 30 minutes before. She got there. She drank a little bit of her wine, and Candace texted Karen and was like, I'm on my way. And so Karen then was rushing Monique out. But the way she rushed Monique out was like,
Girl,
oh my gosh.
that was a mess. And I felt sorry for Monique right there because, like she said, she thought she was going to sit down and catch up and all of this stuff. And she felt rushed out. I understand why Karen did it, but
I do too.
she just shouldn't have extended the invitation to Monique if she was going to treat her like that when she got there. I see how she's trying to maintain her friendships with both ladies, but you're doing it wrong. Like this was a huge fuck up, but I hope we don't have a whole lot more time for these Potomac bitches because I am just so sick of them and this shit. Like I know you're probably going to get to this, but it was revealed that Candace did admit to throwing the glass on Monique. It was in the statement that she made. That's why Karen decided to stay neutral in it because she wasn't going to say this person was the aggressor because she knew behind the scenes that Candace had already admitted to throwing wine on Monique. So now it's, I didn't do that. See, Candace is playing this whole victim role. And again, I don't have to reiterate this, but putting your hands on anyone just because of what they're saying to you is wrong. You should be grown enough and have enough self-restraint to hold yourself back from slapping a bitch just because she's running all off at the mouth at you. But Candace, you was all up in homegirl's face challenging her. You pulled a knife out on Ashley and went after her. You done said and done all of this clown ass shit. So you coming at people like you about that life. And when they approached you like you were about that life and it was determined that you were about that life, you weren't about that life, your ass looking stupid. So now you're up here playing this whole victim role. That's why I don't like, and then the fact that you admitted to throwing wine on this girl because she said that to begin with. You admitted to throwing wine on her, but now you were attacked for no reason. Which lie are you going to tell? I'm so glad that this is the last episode because I feel like we have been waiting forever to get to this point. And quite frankly, I'm tired of these bitches. I'm tired of y'all little mean girl shit. I'm so tired of Giselle, stale face, busted ass.
Giselle and Jamal, baby, their relationship is ridiculous. I don't know what they got going on. He didn't even show up to the dang holiday picture that they was supposed to take.
And how your kids don't like you, that fucking sucks.
Kids don't like y'all together. And I feel like she tries to protect that situation. And yeah, they love him. Like, I can't tell. They was mad when you told them that he was coming down there. Anyways, yes, like Dana said, there's one more episode, and this one looks like it's going to be interesting because it looks like Candace's husband and Michael Darby are going to have an altercation.
It's the season finale.
Yes, that's the season finale. And then we have the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion that's coming on December 12th. But good news is Real Housewives of Atlanta premieres tomorrow on December 6th. So that looks really good. So we'll talk about that. But I do want to touch real quick on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City because I don't like Jen. Jen, just because your husband loves his job more than you and you're trying to fill this attention void because he's never around, get a divorce and find somebody who wants to be around you.
Girl, please.
You got 150 people on staff at your house because your husband don't want you. She mad at Meredith because Meredith chose to spend the night with her kids instead of her. Girl, what?
And then I just don't understand the mind of this psychopath.
Psychopath, literally.
First of all, Mary said it smelled like hospital in here. Those were the words. Those were the words that we come to know. Those were the words that were spoken to you. Somehow you turn this whole shit around on you smell like hospital and I'm shaming your aunt for getting her legs amputated and I'm attacking your family. Like, how did you get that from that? How do we get there from here? And like all the women on the show, they feel like your beef with Mary is stupid. But what's irritating about the Salt Lake housewives to me is how they babysit this bitch. Like,
Yes, they
I don't want to say anything to
Come on,
Jen because
friend.
I don't want her to be mad. Fuck Jen, old hard face ass. Fuck her. Like, she clearly needs therapy. She got some issues, insecure issues. She don't want her friends being friends with other people. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, leave Jen where she at. Don't try to babysit how she feels about some bullshit. Like, of course, if you guys are in a deep friendship, of course you should care about what your friend thinks, but you should also be the motherfucker to tell your friend she tripping. And Jen, you are tripping. You are making a deal out of no deal. And I think Mary is right. I think Jen is intimidated by Mary for whatever reason, like, and sees Mary as competition for whatever reason. And it's probably because Mary is the only other person of color on the show, and she's popular. People like her for whatever. Like, she's crazy. Okay. That first episode, I'm like, this bitch is nuts. But episode 2, I'm like, Team Mary. So, and I feel like that's probably the mood of their social circle or whatever. And Jen feels that. So she's going to come for Mary at every chance. And I can't wait to see how this all unfolds out. But ma'am, listen, please sit down with this bullshit. She ain't talking about your goddamn family, and you know that. I hope that you sitting at home right now watching this show back, feeling like the dumbass that you should. And I hope people online are reminding you how dumb you are for making this a thing when it shouldn't have even been a thing. You're dumb. You're dumb.
And you want to talk about not being a friend. Meredith not being a friend to you because she went to Mary's church. She got mad because she went to Mary's church and all of this. Meredith is so above the bullshit. She's like, oh baby, I don't have any time for this, which I am so 100% with Meredith. First of all, you're not going to tell me I can be friends and friends. She said, Meredith said, because if I was a housewife, this would be me. Meredith said in her confessional, how old are we're in our 40s. Like, sis, what are you talking about? I can hang out with whoever I want to hang out with. And to top it all off, you want to talk about being a friend. Up until this point, no one knew about Meredith's separation except for Jen and Meredith. And on this last episode, you done spilled tea to Heather because you mad, telling her, yeah, they're separated.
That's that bullshit. That's that bullshit right there. Because you felt quote unquote betrayed over some bullshit. So you're gonna disclose my personal information. You know me. You know me.
I'm like,
I don't fuck with that. Like, me and Jen will never be friends ever again. Because bitch, how dare you get mad at me and then start spilling tea and think I'm supposed to come back to you and resume a friendship and be kikiing with you, bitch? No, you were cut off dead to me after that. Because that's some shit that you just don't do. That's some bullshit there. So yeah, I'm not feeling Jen. I know she's going to be, on this show because she is a spectacle, but I'm completely over her.
I am too. And she's a fucked up person, but I love Salt Lake City. So I'm there for that. So lastly, I'm going to touch on some music, guys, or what's happening in music. I don't know what y'all been listening to, but these rappers and these folks, JT had a birthday. She turned 28. Got her a petite.
Shout out to JT. Happy birthday, my Sagittarius twin friend.
Little baby got a $200,000 watch from his boo and a Bentley. Reginae's birthday was last week. She had a 99 and 2000s party. And I would just like to report that none of these celebrity events, nobody was required to wear a mask. But they were lit. Happy birthday to all y'all. Happy birthday to Jay-Z, who also turned 51.
Yes, and happy birthday, Hove.
And to end things, I just want to end things on Boosie. Mark Zuckerberg is being sued by Boosie. Y'all, Boosie is suing Mark Zuckerberg because Mark Zuckerberg, I can't even say his name, to mess with his money.
Girl, bye.
Y'all
I want y'all to know this is fake.
when we was back in quarantine, Boosie was losing his mind. He had girls pussy popping on a handstand. on Instagram Live. So now Boosie said he's suing Mark Zuckerberg for $20 million because he says he's lost business.
Boy.
And he feels like it's discrimination because there's other IG users who's done worser. And I'm not saying worser. He said worser things. And they got their pages back. And that's it. That's all I got to say, child.
Boosie, give it up, Brad. Look, your lawsuit against Mark Zuckerberg that's going to get thrown out just like your president's lawsuits and all these goddamn states keep getting thrown out. I don't know how you feel like you are going to get to sue the creator of Facebook just because your Instagram account is deactivated. I'm going to need you to take a step back and really think about that. Seek some counsel. Call to a pastor, a therapist, and more importantly, some legal counsel. Because what you're trying to do here, buddy, that's not a real thing. It's not a real thing.
Well, y'all, that's all I got for the break room. It's y'all celebrities is doing the fool. Okay. Y'all got a lot going on, but please mask up. That's all I got to say.
Mask up. We'll see you guys next week. Thank y'all for sending in y'all fuck yous. Keep that going. And I don't know what you got, Anessa. We'll see y'all next week.
We love y'all for real.
We love y'all for real. Bye.
Bye, y'all.